a giant. Look at this fish. That is awesome. That is a big walleye. Today on Jon Thelen's Destination Fish, we break down locations and tactics to catch walleyes on small waters. Then it's up to Canada's famous Lac Seul. Midsummer is prime time in Sunset Country, and today we spin them up north of the border. Jon Thelen's Destination Fish is brought to you by Lindy Fishing Tackle and Alumacraft Boats. Took that right when I got recast out there. Feels like a keeper size fish. Yeah, feels like a pretty good walleye. Here's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna talk about fishing small lakes, how I do it, and how I pick them apart. And it's got to do with a few different things. And we're gonna touch on all of them today. And it's gonna make it a heck of a lot easier for you to go out. Yeah, great walleye. Look at that one. Perfect keeper size fish. But it's gonna make it a heck of a lot easier for you to go out on a lake, be it a new lake or just a small lake in general, pick it apart and catch some walleyes like that beautiful fish right there. That's an awesome way to start a day. Man, I'll tell you though, there's a few things that go into catching this fish. They are really overlooked. And number one, it's understanding where fish like this eat. So what I'm doing is I'm spending my first set sitting on a spot where there's a tip here. There's a hump that comes out off a shore and there's a tip. I really believe this is a spot where these fish are going to eat in early summer because they're going to spend their resting time out a little bit deeper. So I have found this little tip and this thing comes out off a shore and I'm sitting right on the edge of it. And here's the thing, this is where fish are going to eat. So that's one of the first things I do is I think about where are they going to eat because I'm going to pick those active fish off first. Now what we'll do is we'll work our way in a progression out to where they might rest, but not before we're sure that we've caught every fish that's up on top eating. There he goes. Got him that time. Same spot. We're gonna get this one in the boat. I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm using and explain to you why. Because there is a, oh yeah, good walleye. Let's finish the deal on this one. Let me show you what I'm using. Sometimes fishing tight little spots like this, the best way to do it is to slip float fish. And you know, I love slip float fishing. Always have. A lot of that is just more or less growing up fishing on Mille Lacs Lake. But I'm gonna tell you something. There are scenarios where slip float fishing is a lot different on a lake like this than on a Mille Lacs Lake. And what I mean is a lot of times I'm moving and looking. Here, I'm picking one of those tight little spots and I'm fishing. I'm just sitting on top of these fish, getting in an area, parking the boat, and just fishing. And walleyes like that one right there, what a great fish. I mean, I'll take that all day long. But walleyes like that one right there are set up on these spots. And if you can get on top of them like we are right now, man, you can get on them pretty good. There's a lot of fish on the screen, but I want to quick show you what I'm using before we get back in the water. Number one, fill float. It's got a brass grommet up in the top, okay? So what that brass grommet does is it makes it so the line will slide through it and you won't cut a groove. Number two, I use a number 2 size single split shot. And then down here at the business end, I've got a Lindy live bait jig. I use a jig because if you use a plain hook, what happens is that leech eventually just gets tired of swimming and he ends up vertical. Well, if I use a jig, when it goes down there, it hangs horizontal and that leech can just naturally move like this. So having that bait horizontal can make a huge, huge difference because that's the natural state that these walleyes see them in. Alumacraft has always done a great job with their live wells. You know, for me, this tournament series boat has a live well up front. A lot of times that's my bait. And then out back, I've got myself all set up with a live well that's plenty big to put that walleye catch throughout the day in there and keep it alive. If you can keep them alive and fresh, they taste a heck of a lot better than if they go belly up and they float around all day. You don't have that on Alumacraft.
Alumacraft 2023 fish and sport boats provide the ultimate crossover experience, making them the first choice for anglers and their families. With flexible seating configurations to fit your entire family and all of the fishing features you need, these do-it-all boats are ready for water skiing in the afternoon and fishing until dusk. Contact your Alumacraft dealer to pre-order your 2023 boat and start planning your next adventure today.
For over half a century, Little Joe spinners have made their way into tackle boxes and caught fish for anglers across North America. Little Joe has stood the test of time. Little Joe spinners are available in many configurations, including Red Devil single hook spinners, Heart of Steel spinners, and 2-hook crawler harnesses, along with Little Joe floating worm harnesses and walleye spinners. Look for Little Joe spinners at your favorite retailer or online at lurenet.com.
LeCans Marine is southern Minnesota's premier dealership for industry-leading power sports and boating solutions. LeCans carries many brands, including the innovative Alumacraft boat lineup, as well as Yamaha, Suzuki, and Mercury outboards. Located in Faribault, Minnesota, LeCans is a full-service dealership offering sales, service, parts, and storage. Visit their convenient Faribault location and let the staff at LeCans Marine take care of all of your boating and ATV needs. Give them a call or look them up at lecansmarine.com.
Zippel Bay Resort on Minnesota's Lake of the Woods offers world-class walleye, sauger, and pike fishing. Fish from a 30-foot charter boat with a licensed captain or explore the big lake with your own boat. Zippel Bay offers deluxe log cabins in various sizes, housekeeping cabins, as well as a bar and restaurant serving great food 7 days a week. Kids and parents alike will enjoy the pool, hot tub, and water toys. World-class fishing and 5-star accommodations come together at Zippel Bay Resort. For more information, check them out at zippelbay.com.
They say great minds think alike, which could explain why for over 50 years, more anglers have chosen Humminbird to see the water more clearly. Our tech predicts where the bites are, and our innovations foreshadow the sport's future. We've helped anglers win tournaments and the weekend, taught them to fish smarter, not harder. So, if you're not already on board, it's worth asking yourself why, when the people in the know agree that Humminbird is simply, clearly better.
I'm gonna give you a couple tips here in between fish. They're gonna make you a heck of a lot more proficient while you're float fishing. Number one, it's easy to try to guess where you're at as far as depth off the bottom. That Lindy depth bomb makes all the difference for me. I don't try to guess. It's really important to me that I be in the right spot. So all I'm gonna do to get my depth is I'm gonna clip that on, I'm gonna drop it down, and what's gonna happen is it's gonna pull the float down based on where my slip knot is. If I want to be 3 feet off the bottom, hypothetically, I want to get to where that knot is, reel up, and look at the difference between my tip and the knot, and that's exactly how far off the bottom I'm going to be when I take that weight off. So here on a lake like this, where I'm talking stained, kind of dirty water, I want to be a foot off the bottom. Don't try to guess, because when it comes down to it, being precise is going to make a huge difference in how many fish you catch. Got them. It seemed like they slowed down for just a little bit, and they'll do that to you. You know, and when that happens, it's pretty simple. Just use that jog feature on your Minn Kota. You're moving in simple 5-foot increments, and if you can move in small little increments, I'll tell you what, you can pick a structure apart. Look at that one. Walleye, holy smokes. Just cool stuff, but you just simply picking the structure apart is making a big, big difference for me. And I want to explain this. When you hit spot lock on that Minn Kota, you have the ability to move forward, backwards, right or left in increments of 5 feet. And what it allows me to do, especially on a little tip like this, is just make small, subtle little moves to keep up with the fish, because you know what'll happen? These fish at any moment, they'll go 20 feet that way, and maybe they go 20 yards. Maybe they go 30 yards, they get just beyond your cast. So just keeping on moving a little bit at a time will keep you on top of the fish. Today we are fishing an underwater point that extends from shore, topping out at 14 feet at the tip. Parking with spot lock and fan casting Phil Pro Series floats with 1/16 ounce Lindy live bait jigs tipped with medium leeches is the key. It's mid-June with water temps in the low 60s and air temps in the low 70s and sunny skies overhead. There he is. Got him. Feels like a pretty good one too. I just jogged out a little bit. Oh yeah, It's a good fish. Just jogged out a little bit. Wind is kind of coming and going on me this morning. Sun's kind of coming and going. And one of the things you want to do when you get on a little spot like this is just keep moving around. Just those little moves. Because what'll happen is fish will slide up on the tip, then they'll slide off. And they'll base that on two things: light conditions and wind conditions. When the wind comes up, most often, they'll just start feeding again. It's the way it works. When the sun goes behind the clouds, sometimes that'll be the trigger to get them to just start feeding again. Oh yeah, really nice fish. Big walleye. Big walleye for a lake like this. Really nice fish, holy moly. You know what, lakes like this, you get into these fish 20 plus inches, probably 21 incher, maybe 22. So when I say big fish, you know, it might not be a big fish to everybody, but fishing lakes like what we're fishing here, this is a big fish. This is a really nice walleye. Look at that. Awesome fish. Anywhere you go, man, that's fun stuff. Great fish. We'll let that one go. Get out of here, buddy. There he is. You know, one thing I've always said, I use these longer rods for my bobber fishing, and the idea is it's got a really soft tip. So what I'm able to do is reel to a fish like that had swam toward me. And with that fish swimming toward me, there was some slack. But what I'm allowed to do is, or able to do with this long rod, is keep reeling to him with the tip up in the air and get myself to a point where I feel that fish in that soft tip long before he feels me. Another great eye. Look at that. Man, just smacking him. Just smacking him this morning. That is just fun. I'll tell you what. This is just fun fishing. Look at that fish. There we go. Look at that. They're great fish. That's awesome stuff right there, man. I'll tell you. How fun is this stuff? How fun is it? It's just one after another. I'll tell you what, get out, fish a couple of these small lakes. The opportunities out here are absolutely awesome. Another great, great fish. Gallus Marine in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin has everything you need to get your family out on the water this summer. New and used boat sales include top brands like Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoons, powered by Yamaha outboards. The parts and service departments will keep you up and running all summer long. Whether you're looking for a Yamaha-powered fishing boat, ski boat, or a pontoon, Gallus Marine has you covered, and when fall arrives, they'll be there to handle your winterization needs. Stop in and see them at their convenient Wisconsin Rapids location or look them up at gallusmarine.com.
Carefully crafted from high-quality materials, including the finest balsa, Thil floats come in a wide array of shapes and sizes. Whether you're after trophy walleyes, spring-run steelhead, or feisty panfish, there's a Thil float perfect for the conditions at hand. Don't be fooled by cheap imitations. Experience Thil's unrivaled fish-catching performance for yourself. Look for Thil floats in convenient bulk displays and iconic individual packaging, or visit thil.com.
Fishing is always hot on Lake of the Woods. Whether you're chasing walleyes, muskies, or pike, Lake of the Woods does not disappoint, and Flag Island Resort is your premier vacation spot in the Northwest Angle. Flag Island Resort offers beautiful cabins of various sizes, a bar and restaurant, guide services, and rental boats. Or you can bring your own boat and explore the hidden hotspots Lake of the Woods has to offer with access to both Minnesota and Canada waters. To learn more, give them a call or check them out at flagislandresort.com. L&M Fleet Supply is a family-owned company that has proudly served the Minnesota and Wisconsin Northland for over 60 years. Success on the water this spring and summer starts at L&M, where they carry a large selection of fishing tackle, rods, reels, live bait, and marine supplies. When fall arrives, L&M has everything you need for the hunting season as well, including a large inventory of ammo, deer stands, clothing, decoys, and more. Visit one of their Northland locations or shop online at lmsupply.com. L&M is your quality at a discount headquarters.
Whether you crank it, jig it, flip it, slow roll, or troll, Striker Technical Apparel gives you the freedom and confidence to fish, no matter your style, no matter the weather, because with Striker, when it's on, it's on.
There is nothing more aggravating than a hard-to-turn steering wheel on your boat or pontoon. The Panther XPS Gen 2 power steering system eliminates that aggravation. XPS steering is designed to fit on outboard engines with horsepowers ranging from 90 to 250. Panther XPS is true power steering, which provides smooth and easy turning of the engine. XPS can be easily installed on any boat with single cable steering by your dealer or in your own driveway. Take control of your steering with the Panther XPS Gen 2 power steering system. Next up, it's Canada fishing at its finest. Midsummer Lac Seul walleyes have moved off the shorelines and taken up residence on islands and adjacent structures. While most anglers associate Canada with jig fishing, today spinners are the ticket and hungry walleyes can't resist chasing them down. Jon Thelen's Destination Fish is brought to you by Alumacraft Boats and Lindy Fishing Tackle. There he is. Yep, got him. Had a feeling that I was going to get one of those. They were just good looking fish on the screen. You know, one of those times where you see a little bunch of fish. When you see that bunch of them, you always feel like one of them's going to bite. You see singles, it's not always as automatic, but when you see piles of them like this was, you always have a pretty good feeling. Great walleye to start our day. We're up in Canada. Awesome fish. The exact fish that so many of us come to Canada to catch right here. Just a great eater-sized walleye. Look at that. Awesome fish. Anywhere you go. We're up on Lac Seul. Up in Sunset Country, they call it. Northwestern Ontario. And man, I'll tell you what, it's home to a whole bunch of those right there. You know, I hear people say every now and then that Lac Seul can be a little bit tough. To be honest with you, there's reasons for that we'll talk a little bit about. But when it comes down to it, once you get it figured out, Lac Seul is a really easy fishery to fish. And it's a lot of fun because you get this mix of fish like that one right there, and then big fish mixed in. It's just one of my favorite places in the world to go walleye fishing. Today we are fishing along the drop-offs of offshore islands anywhere from 8 to 15 feet deep. Our speed is ranging from 1 to 1.2 miles per hour. Little Joe walleye spinners behind 1 ounce bottom bouncers are triggering strikes with the hot color being white and chrome. It's mid-July with clear skies and water temps in the low 70s and air temps in the low 80s. Got him. That's a good fish. Good walleye. Yep, a little bit bigger fish. Oh yeah. Man, I'll tell you, you know, I know that so often people think of going to Canada and jigging, but I'm gonna tell you something. Here's the deal. I was on fly-in 2 days ago, a day trip fly-in, and I'm gonna do it again tomorrow. And we're gonna jig. That's how we're gonna catch them. We're gonna jig. But you know what? You take Lac Seul. This is a bigger, more diverse body of water, and walleyes like that one right there, they're far more spread out on a fishery like this than what they're gonna be on these smaller fly-in lakes. So when you get so used to going in and jigging an area on a fly-in type situation, it doesn't mean jigs won't work here on Lac Seul, but I will tell you this thing's 168 miles or something like that long. I mean, it's an enormous body of water. It's just huge. And what happens is the walleyes have so many different areas that they can be set up in, and it's so diverse that getting on top of fish and concentrations of fish in one little area to jig on is a lot harder here than, like I said, it's gonna be on a smaller lake, on a fly-in lake. So what I really like to do is use presentations here on Lac Seul where I'm moving. And I know that's not what people think of when they think of Canada, but here's the deal. All I wanna do is catch fish, because there's gonna be days on different lakes up here where I'm gonna jig. But right now, you can't beat that little Joe spinner on a bottom bouncer out here. And all I'm doing is I'm working anywhere from 8 to 15 feet of water. And what I'm doing is just weaving back and forth. And what happens is you start seeing fish. You see a fish here, you see a fish there, then you see a pack of them. And what this allows you to do is move through those fish. If I was trying to jig, I've got to move so slow that it just makes it really, really hard. But here I'm going 1 mile an hour up to 1.3 every now and then. I might drop back to 0.8, but for the most part, I'm moving pretty doggone fast. I hear a lot of people talk about Lac Seul being a little bit tough sometimes to catch fish on. That's because they're moving too slow and jigging. You move your boat, you run a spinner, a mile an hour presentation, and you're gonna catch a lot more fish out here.
Warner's Dock in New Richmond, Wisconsin has been serving all your boating needs since 1947. This is the place if you are looking for a new fishing boat, bass boat, or pontoon. Warner's Dock carries various brands of power including Yamaha, Suzuki, Mercury, and Honda outboards, as well as the extensive Alumacraft boat lineup. Warner's Dock offers top-notch sales, service, parts, and off-season storage. Look them up at warnersdock.com, or better yet, visit their large show floor just minutes east of the Twin Cities and see why this is the place.
This is your tackle. You use it to catch this, or this, or this. You also use this and that and these. This is your environment. So is this. You love it, live for it, but it will turn this into that. This is the Flambeau Z-Rust Max Tough Tainer series. These are fully infused with exclusive Z-Rust VCI anti-corrosion technology. This is a U.S. naval battleship. The same Z-Rust technology used here has been used on those. This is the next level of tackle management. Built to fish, built to last. What's your tackle worth?
Hi, this is Greg from Outdoors Again in Baudette, Minnesota. I'd like to personally invite you to stop in and visit us here at Outdoors Again, where we carry the largest selection of fishing tackle, bait, firearms, and ammo in northern Minnesota. We are the home of the Jig Buffet. We are conveniently located on Highway 11 in downtown Baudette with plenty of parking to accommodate boats, wheelhouses, and trailers. We are your one-stop shop for all of your outdoor needs, including bait, tackle, firearms, ammo, and much, much more. We look forward to seeing you here at Outdoors Again.
Plan the fly-in fishing trip of a lifetime with K-Air Service. Located in northwestern Ontario, K-Air offers 4 fly-in outpost camps, all equipped with hot and cold running water, showers, fish cookers, gas grills, and kitchen appliances. K-Air also offers 2 modern drive-in cabins located at the base camp on Canada's famous Lac Seul, where world-class fishing awaits. Look no further for your next trophy walleye, northern pike, or lake trout. So call today for a flexible 3 to 7 day package or go online at kair.com.
The 2023 Bloomington Boat Show is going on now at Dan's Southside Marine. Shop a huge inventory of Avalon and Premier pontoons inside a heated 25,000 square foot showroom. The Bloomington Boat Show going on now at Dan's Southside Marine. The 2023 Bloomington Boat Show is going on now at Dan's Southside Marine. Shop a huge inventory of Alumacraft fishing boats inside a heated 25,000 square foot showroom. The Bloomington Boat Show going on now at Dan's Southside Marine.
That's fun. That's a good one. Feels like a pretty good fish. You know, one of the things you got to do, even though I say a lot of times fish shallow, start where they're eating. One of the things you got to do, especially on a day like today, that's a really nice walleye, especially on a flat day like today, is look at those areas where you think you can get these fish shallow or where they might have been shallow earlier. And then just slide out a little bit. Walleyes like that one, just another great little eater fish. You know, 17 inches all day long, man. That's fun. That's the beauty of Canada. It's the ability to just catch numbers of these fish. But one of the things I want to point out, those fish that are in here shallow, a lot of times they're your eater fish and they're also hungry. That's why a lot of times you see me trying to start fishing shallow, and that's one of the things I love about fishing up here, is I know that a lot of these fish that are up shallow, they're going to be willing participants. I'm going to be able to get them to bite. There's nothing worse than looking at fish on your sonar unit out in deep water and not being able to make them bite. But these shallow fish, for the most part, you can make them bite. What do we got? Let's see. Oh yeah, nice walleye. Good eater fish. Look at this one. Just another one like we've been catching all day. Holy smokes. That's just fun stuff, you know. Just fun stuff. But I'll tell you, like I said earlier today, don't be afraid to come here with a different idea than just jigging. Don't be afraid to come here thinking about using some spinners, because walleyes like that one right there, just another great eater. That's a shore launcher in Canada. Man, I'll tell you what, at this time of the year though, on big water like Lac Seul, spinners can just be deadly. You might wonder why I'm fishing a half a crawler, because there's a lot of little walleyes in here too. What'll happen is those smaller fish will just nip on the back of that crawler all day and drive you crazy. But if you pinch it off, they won't bother you quite as much. So what I'm doing is I'm just threading a crawler right onto that hook, and then I'm pinching it off and just leaving about an inch, inch and a half back behind the hook. And using that walleye hook allows you to do that. Little Joe spinners, they've been around forever, and man, they just catch fish flat out no matter where you go. There's one. And he grabbed it good. Another good walleye. Man, I'll tell you, it is just so fun. It's so fun, this Canada fishing. Been coming up to Canada since I was just a kid with my dad. Brought my own kids up here over the years, and man, I'll tell you, it is just one of my favorite things in the world to do. To just come up here and be able to catch the sheer numbers of fish that you catch, have a crack at big fish, and my wife and I got some really nice ones this morning. This afternoon when the wind went down, it just became more great shore lunch eater style fish, and you know what, that's great too, because they bend the rod. It's just a great time. And I'll tell you, it's not that complicated. Bring some spinners though, change your plan a little bit, and then, you know, do your jigging on your smaller lakes. Man, they're more than willing to whack a spinner on a bottom bouncer, and it's pretty easy fishing. There's no doubt about it. Man, what a great day that was out on Lac Seul. I'll tell you what, this is one of my favorite fisheries in the world for the exact reasons you saw and the reasons that you didn't see. My wife and I went out and smacked them this morning. We got big fish, we got eater fish. Just a phenomenal fishery, Lac Seul. When I come up here, I always stay at K Air Service, and there's a couple reasons why, and I want to tell you about them. I can tow my boat right up here all the way on tar roads. I don't got to worry about gravel. I don't got to worry about banging it all up. Once I get here, there's a dock waiting for my boat. I'm all set to go. I get up every morning, just jump in the boat and head out fishing. And the cabins are awesome. They're all modern cabins, full electric. I mean, this isn't roughing it. They take care of you here. If it's a fly-in that you want to do, and we did a couple fly-in trips while we were here this week, man, were they fun as well. They also have outpost options that you can take a look at. If you're interested in coming up here, check them out at kair.com or give them a call at the number posted below. I know you'll enjoy it here just as much as I do. Thanks for watching this week, and we'll see you next week on Jon Thelen's Destination Fish. Closed captioning for Jon Thelen's Destination Fish is brought to you by Formula Propeller.